I had a so September reading month, so let's get right into it. So September wasn't really the best reading month. It wasn't the worst. It just wasn't the best. And my camera is about to die, and I didn't realize that. So we're gonna talk until we can't talk no more. Hold on, you guys. There is a frog. If y'all don't know, I am afraid of frogs. There's a frog, a couple of them, on my windows. Hold on. Do you see that? So yeah, my reading month was just blasé, but let's get right into it before the camera dies. First up, I read, these are in no particular order, I'm just gonna give you my thoughts. Henry VI, Part 3. I read the other two, and I was, at the time, Shakespeare'd out. After reading Part 1 and Part 2, I was just Shakespeare'd out, and I took a moment, but now I have finished Henry VI, Part 3. However, before I started reading them, I didn't realize it's part of a Shakespearean series called War of Roses, and I wasn't supposed to read these before I read like Richard the First or the Third or whatever it was, Richard the Second, the Third, I don't remember. One of the Richards. And I'm going to do that, but obviously it's going to be out of order because I already read these and there is no reason for me to reread them. And I gave this like a 3. It was absolutely fine. What I do like about Shakespearean plays are that they are so dramatic. Everyone in the play, from men, women, children, servants, kings, queens, knights, whoever they are, Joan of Arc, they are all so damn dramatic. Next we have Royal, and this is the first book in the St. Clair series. This is a romance. I gave this a 4. This was a very, very sweet romance, and it has strangers to friends to lovers, and I enjoyed it so much. I do. This is also in indie published. I do recommend that people pick this up. This one was a sweet one. Y'all, I finally finished The Essential Tales and Poems of Edgar Allan Poe. I never thought that I would like Edgar Allan Poe's writing as much as I do now. I only ever really liked, yeah, it's called The Raven. I never thought that I would like anything beyond The Raven, but his work it's very lyrical. Most of the time it's very, very dark and gothic and somber, and I have no problem reading this again in different times just to pick up something really quick and read something that just touches me. So this is something that I'm going to keep. I might be looking for different additions to this book because I don't really like the squat short books, but it's fine. Y'all, we are back. I had to charge the camera, but let's get right back into it. So I also read The Queen V by Dr. Jackie Walters. If you don't know, she is on Married to Medicine. I love me some Dr. Jackie. It didn't give me anything that I didn't already know for the most part, but it did shed some light on one thing in particular that not that I didn't know about, but I am now in a woman who is suffering from one of the things in this book, which is uterine fibroids. And because I never had them before, it never really affected my knowledge on anything. I didn't try to learn anything more about them. Now I have a little bit more information to go off of and to speak to my doctors about, because I've already gone to the doctor and all of that stuff, but not with the information that I now have, like some groundwork that I now have. I can now do that. So this book is really good. I've had this book on my shelves for about 5 years and I never read it. So I'm glad that I have now. I recommend it. Seeing Red by Sean, the second book in the Bliss Peak series. We read this for Chayan Chapters Book Club. This book I gave 4.5. It is a MF. I don't know which way to put the letters in this one. This is a MMF romance. Wide Shoes, By Awakening. 2 of the characters are bisexual, and this was a slight retelling of Little Red Riding Hood with with 3 chase scenes in here because there's primal kink in this book. I was intrigued. I enjoyed this romance. I enjoyed Sean's writing. I have a lot of her books and I will continue to buy them. I don't think this will be the last one in the series, so I'll keep reading from Sean. This is the second book in the Bliss Peak series, and with this book, we are all caught up. I don't know if this series will have more. I think it will, but as of right now, it doesn't. So I have finished a series. Next up, we have Nikki Giovanni's On My Journey Now, looking at American history through the spirituals. Now, this one, it was a short read. This was on my 12 to read in 2025, and I enjoyed this. I highlighted and read certain passages. I did not tab anything because nothing in particular needed to be tabbed because it's all having the same discussion throughout the book. I don't think this is groundbreaking, but I do like the fact that Nikki Giovanni took on a different mindset when thinking about spirituals, because a lot of people might want to say things like, was slavery even that bad? That is the narrative that many people might want to push even today. Was slavery even that bad? They were singing, they were happy. Was slavery even that bad? And if you are one of those people, you might want to read this because this puts into the perspective that singing could have been the mechanism to channel other feelings. So I enjoyed this book. I think I gave it 4 stars. Now, Wu Chow, like, I have finally come to the end of Chris and Mallory's story. J.O. Seegers, I enjoy her writing, and I enjoy her writing mainly because I read the first book in the New Haven series. I read that book. It ate down for me. It was so damn good. And congratulations to our good sis, J.L. Seegers, who has signed a deal for her New Haven series. I'm glad that I got mine before she did. I even have mine signed to Sasha. I have mine signed. All of my books, I think, are signed by her. I love her writing. That first book hooked me so bad. I went to Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses last year and bought all the damn rest of them. Okay, so I love her writing. But 3 books for Mallory and Chris. Mallory, like, I understood. Like, have you ever seen somebody's relationship from both man and woman standpoint and just say, I understand it. I understand all the toxicness. I understand all the feelings, all the emotion, all the decisions. But y'all are getting on my damn nerves with your life. Like, take me out the group chat. That's how I felt about Mallory and Chris in book 2 and this one, book 3. Take me out the goddamn group chat. I'm tired of it. Like, I've been tired of it. Book 1 of it, it gave you the backstory to their relationship. And me personally, everybody know I don't like second chance romances. I hate second chance romances. This one was a hard one second chance romance, but it was just too much. Like, they took me through it. But 3 books. The first book is a romance book that does not end in the HEA, and then you have 2 books that are the epitome of toxicity, returning, leaving, running, not doing the work, jumping the gun, coming in too hot. It was just a lot. And this one ends in their HEA. Finally, Lord Jesus. Next, we have The Maid and the Crocodile by Jordan Ifueko. Now, this book is set in the world of the Ray Bearer and the Redemptor by Jordan Ifueko. So it's just like a companion book. You do get to see some of the characters from the original duology in this book. And this book was good, but it shocked me because this book was so much, in my opinion, heavier than the duology. I don't know what on earth made her, like, I know it made her write this because there is a note, an author's note in here. There's also trigger warnings in here, so I know what made her write this, but I was not expecting this when I got this. I was expecting more of the Raybearer Redemptor world, maybe checking up on our characters, but this went into deeper territory. Let me tell you what the triggers are really quickly. The Maid and the Crocodile is a warm-hearted fantasy set in the mystical world of Oluwan City, exploring themes of disability, discrimination, permanent physical injury, emotional and physical abuse, reproductive coercion, and familial death. There's a lot going on in here, and I'm just like, wow, whoa, I wasn't expecting it. I read the note and I said, okay, we're getting all of that in here, and it wasn't here. I'm gonna give this 4 stars. I enjoyed reading this, but I don't think we needed it. Even though I enjoyed it, I don't think it was needed for that world. I don't know. Now, Release Me If You Can, the If You Can series, book 2 by Christina C. Jones. These are romantic suspense, and it gets better and better every book. I haven't started the third one. The third will be the third and final book in this series, and I haven't started that book yet. It will be read in October, but these are good. The suspense is good, and it leads you on a trail to finding out the answers that were brought up in book 1 were also, along the way brought up in book 2. And it left on, I kind of saw it in book 1, but I was not sure of that little twist that we got. And then in book 2, I got it. I was like, that's the twist. And there's several twists. And turns. Again, romantic suspense. I haven't seen a book or read a book from Christina C. Jones that I have not liked yet. So I do recommend the If You Can series. Next, we have Never Flinch by Stephen King. I believe this is going to be the 5th and final book, or the 4th, whatever number it is, in the Holly Gibney series. And I am sorry to say I did not like it. I didn't get the point of it. In Holly, you get the point that Holly can work on her own. In The Outsider, when you meet Holly in the Bill Hodges trilogy, she just comes up, Bill Hodges comes upon Holly, right? And then she gets she comes into the fold with Bill Hodges. So does Barbara. So does Jerome. Everybody comes into the fold with Bill Hodges, right? So that's how we get to meet Holly. Then you get The Outsider, and you realize that, okay, Holly's getting the hang of this thing, of being a private investigator, but not really. This book was more about the revenge plot. It was more about the feminist plot. And mind you, if you've ever read a Stephen King novel, you know that his beliefs are loud. The voice is loud. You know exactly what he believes in, what he thinks of people who believe the right or wrong thing, depending on what side you are on. It was kind of heavy in this book, but also I think Stephen King and his Black characters are usually a miss for me. They're never a hit for me. They're never a hit for me. They're usually a miss for me. And I did not like this. It's like a 2.5 book for me. This was not good. I did not enjoy it. And I didn't get enough Holly. That's the point of it being a Holly Gibney book. We got more of those other 2 timelines and plots than we did of Holly. I wasn't here for it. Another book series that I have finished. So Sing Me to Sleep by Gabby Burton is the first book in this duology, and Drown Me with Dreams is the second. I didn't like this one as much as I liked the first one. To me, this one was boring. It kind of fell flat. We went the whole first book preparing for something, what's on the other side of the barrier kind of thing. And in this book, she's beyond the barrier. In this book, she finally gets beyond the barrier and nothing happens. That's what we got. In this book, we got nothing happens. It wasn't fun. It wasn't entertaining. Nothing happens. And I didn't like this one. The first one, loved it. This one, it wasn't good. It was boring. Okay, so here's a book that I DNF'd. Okay. This was another one of my 12 to read in 2025, and I DNF'd it. I want to say, 70 pages in. It wasn't that far before I realized this is nothing but a story about grooming. This is nothing more than a grooming love story. What do you mean you met her for the first time when she was 7 or 8? 6, 7, 8. That's what? And what do you mean you continue to visit her as a grown-ass man in your 20s and 30s. The way that Audrey Niffenegger justifies this in the book, and that's when I had to close it, where when she meets him, for him it's the first time in that time traveling sense. He has yet in this body to time travel to her. So I think she actually, mind you, I DNF, so I don't really know, don't get me to lying, but I think that she set out to meet this man, the man that she's been fawning over since she was 6, 7, 8. Since she's had a crush on this grown ass man for that long. And when she finally meets him, when she's like 20 something, he doesn't know who the fuck she is because he has yet to time travel back to when she was 6, 7, 8. So he finds her attractive and cute, right? Okay. But then there's a jump backward, right? I think she's like 11 and they're having a conversation on who he fancies that is famous, like singers, rock stars or whatever. And he names someone and he asks her, no, he didn't name anyone. He asks her who she fancied and she named somebody. And then she asks him, so who do you fancy? And in here while she's 11, but he says you, and I close the book. Grooming. That's what this is. It's a DNF for me. And no, I will not be watching the movie. I said I would. I don't care to. Okay. This is another DNF. I tried to read Faking the Game by Claudia Bergoa. This one, I didn't get far in this one either. Maybe 70 pages as well. I didn't like the writing. The writing was so off in this. They're billionaires. I don't like a story where I love fake dating as a trope. Fake dating as a trope, I eat that shit up. When you're a billionaire though, and you can literally just order someone to go on your arm to play a part, why don't you? And this is a billionaire romance and she works for him, so he's her boss, and he then asks her to do it, but she's also poor as hell, which is crazy to me, how your boss is a billionaire and he's so he gives all of his people raises and this, that, and the other, but you poor as hell. This book just had me like, I don't care. That's what this gave me. I don't care, and I DNF'd. Next up is House of Beth. I gave this, I want to say 3 stars. I did not enjoy this one either. I am tired of horror or literary fiction, romance, general fiction, all of those things with sad white girl storylines that make it so horrific. This is not a horror story. I thought it was horror. This is not a horror story, and it didn't even have creepy vibes to it, in my opinion. I didn't like it. I can't even really tell you what it's about. House of Beth by Carrie Cullen, because I don't even think I mentioned the name. The ending was stupid. I didn't enjoy it. I did not enjoy this book because have you ever read a book where even the main character is condescending to themselves and we never get any answers to why she has the reoccurring thoughts of blood, murder, eating people, killing? We never get any of that. Even though what's crazy is none of that matters to the rest of the story. Why add it to make it horrific when there's nothing horrific about it? Like, it's just weird. This book was just weird and it wasn't good. Move that down. I think I gave it like a 2. I want to say I gave it a 2. Another sad white woman. I don't care. I don't care. This is Dirty Diana by Jen Besser and Shauna Festi. This book I DNF'd as well. I, again, don't like those sad woman tales. However, I also do not like the sad mother tales. Now, I am also a mother. I'm not saying everybody's motherhood is the same, because it damn sure it's not. The issue I have here in this book is she's unhappy in her marriage. Like, she doesn't find her husband attractive. She doesn't want him to touch her. She doesn't know how to say that. And there's a part in this book where she says, I should just leave him. Mind you, at the point that I had gotten, he wasn't mean. He wasn't nasty. He seemed to love her. She just was not fulfilled in her marriage or her life at the point that she was. And she's like, I think that I should just leave this man. And she thinks about it and says, when I think about leaving, all I think about taking is my daughter, is our child. He's nowhere in that equation. And I'm like, then it might be time for you to have a conversation with your husband that we need to fix some things. No, she doesn't do that. She starts to go down a path of avoiding, of crying in the car, of doing none of the things that a person in a marriage should do. Also, I don't think she got with that man because she wanted to be with that man. I think she got with that man because she couldn't have another man. I don't care. Next, we have Makia. I think it's Makia Lucia, Dragon Fruit. This book I was so excited to read. This is a YA fantasy. It's like YA breaching on new adult fantasy. This felt like a story that you sit down, cross-legged, crisscross applesauce on the floor, and somebody tells you once upon a time, and it has no real plot. This feels like a book that was undone, that never got the chance to be finished. It was a whole lot of book, but what was the reason? This left me unfulfilled. It was a book. It had a beginning. That's all I can tell you. Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres. This is just magic. It got to points in this book where I could have been pulled in. Like I was sitting there like, okay, here it is where this book is gonna get me. And it never, ever did. I'm giving this book 3 stars. I was never invested. I did not care about the magic system. I didn't care about the big bad villain. I didn't care about the sister dynamic. I didn't care about nothing in this damn book. It never quite got you there. It kind of started to. Every time something was happening, it started to pull you in, and it never fully went all the way. This is actually the last book that I read in September, The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. I'm going to keep this book. I'm not going to unhaul this book, but this needs a reread from me in a year, 2 more, maybe even more, when I pick up this book and see if I like it then. Because, again, this book was creepy as shit. It has all the makings of a creepy ass story. And, there's the man with the smoke. There's the little boy by the pool. There's so much creepiness. You can pick up the phone and hear, conversations in other rooms at this hotel. Was creepy as shit. The twist did not twist enough for me. To me, the twist was cheap. The twist was so damn cheap. Also, I've realized there's something that I do not like when it comes to horror, mystery, and thriller books. It's the same thing that, if you know Regina Hall in her, Scary Movie ever sitting in the movie theater talking about, run, bitch, don't go in there. That's how I feel even when I'm reading books, especially if what's going on has absolutely nothing to do with you. If the main character is on the outside of an issue and then places themselves on the inside of said issue, I no longer give a fuck about the main character. Anything having to do with the main character. Plus, there were a couple of characters that were added to this story, I guess, to bulk it up, to make everyone seem suspicious, and they were unnecessary characters. There were things that didn't pan out, but again, I love the spooky aspect of this book. The creepiness of, like, the hair is prickling up on your, just all of that. But the other stuff did not really get me. Yeah, this one is kind of in a limbo state for me. Next, we have Trust in the Dark by Mel Daw, who I'm going to see on the 11th. This is still in the vein of Mega. In the Mega world, and Mega is a funny ass character. However, even though there is so much to laugh at in this book, it also has a very somber tone to it at a certain point in this book. So a trigger warning for this book would be miscarriage, which was touched upon, in my opinion, in a really poignant way. Dealing with a miscarriage is not only for the woman, it is for the man, and especially in a relationship, and coming together and figuring out the dynamics of your relationship during that time is what this book kind of touched on towards the end of it. But from beginning to that part, funny as shit. Because if you know anything about Mega, he's on his He's trusting God. He's on his spiritual journey and he doesn't have a filter. Love me some Mega. Okay, this next one, I don't know how y'all are gonna feel about this, but it is a very popular book right now, and it's Curvy Girl Summer by Danielle Allen, and I ain't like it. I ain't like it at all. Where was the romance? I need someone quickly. It's a romance. It's a plus size romance book. Now, at first, because it is traditionally published, I was expecting it to be fat phobic. Okay, I really was, because it seems like that's where all the stories go. However, I was pleasantly surprised that the main character loved herself. And because of that, I thought this was going to be a great book. Oh my goodness, we have a plus size character that takes no punches, stands 10 toes down. I'm beautiful and I know it. Don't fucking play with me. Got it. Oh my God, I'm here for this FMC. Only to find out that her mama, her daddy, her uncle all want her to get a man, and they want her to lose weight because what man gonna want you while you fat? And her being told to stay in her place, watch your mouth when you talking to your elders while they talking about her fat ass. Right? And then she had a sister. I can't remember. Was it a twin sister? I want to say it was a twin sister. She had a twin sister that passed away who wasn't fat, who was also married and about to have baby, but she died. So being skinny didn't help that bitch. Excuse me. I just didn't like this book. Plus, there was no romance. There was no romance. They tittered on the brink of we're just friends, knowing damn well they're not. And I hate when authors make one of the characters think that the other character is in a relationship with someone because they don't know. It seems to me on as the reader that they titter on the line of whichever character thinks that the other person is in a relationship. They titter on the line of not being a good person because now you want a person that someone else has. You want a person that is unavailable to you. So the whole book, she went thinking that this man was married. She still lusted after him, masturbated to him, wanted to kiss him, kept looking at his bulge in his pants. You are not a good person at that point, because we know as the reader he ain't got nobody. You don't know that, and you keep putting yourself in situations to be alone or with this married man. I didn't like that either. The uncle was a bitch. Like it was a whole thing. This book wasn't for me. Will I read the second book? Yes. Just because I have access to it, I can borrow someone else's. I don't have this book with me because it wasn't mine. I borrowed it. But I will read the second one. But because again, I can, but it's not on my list. Like I need to read it right now. No siree. Awaken the Dragon is by A.C. Arthur. I've read this because again, this is an author that will be at Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses. And I gave this a 3-star. And I listened to this on Libby. It's dragons and demigods, vampires. It had everything in this book. However, it drops you right into the world. So I couldn't get my footing. I just couldn't get my footing in this world. I gave it a 3, but I just couldn't. I didn't understand what the hell was like. None of it I understood. I didn't understand what was going on, what the rocks were for. I was so confused. Next, you have the final book in the Queens and I want to say Queens and Monsters series. I think that's what this is called. I can't remember what the series name is. Brutal Vows by J.T. Geisinger. This J.T. Geisinger has a hilarity to her writing, at least in this series. This is the only series I've ever read from her. This series, this Queens and Monsters series, or whatever the hell it's called, is hilarity. The craziest part is that the first book started off real serious, and then books 2, 3, and 4 just went off the rails. And I enjoyed every minute of it because it's just funny. It's just funny, like you're laughing out loud. And it's supposed to be a romance. And I think I gave it like 3 stars. Next is Overdue Feelings by A. Blossom, who is another author that I believe will be at Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses. Yes, she will be at Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses. It is a heterosexual relationship turned into a throuple. 2 men, 1 woman. I wasn't a fan of this one either, only because the man that comes into the relationship later they all knew each other as friends. I didn't like him. I didn't like him. That was it. His family, I ain't like his fucking family either. I ain't like him or his family, and I ain't thinking nobody should be, I don't think they all should have been together. Last and finally, I read the book I'll Make You Love Me by Shay Davis. Again, another author that will be at Southern Hearts and Signed Kisses, and I gave it 3 stars. And let me just read you my review. I think that is the best way for me to sum up this book. This book reminds me of Miss V's Hot Girl Summer by A.H. Cunningham, which I did read. It has the same kind of dynamics. The age gap in this book, however, is 16 years. He is 26 and she is 42. In my opinion, that is way too damn old to be dealing with a 26-year-old, but that is none of my business. The age gap is a lot. I didn't like her for him. I don't like when the men are younger because the women little boy them. They son them. They put them in a box to be a child to them. And if you need to treat them like that to stay away from them, you know that when they say, oh, he's so young, I should stay away, you shouldn't be with them. She was acting like a child while sunning him. I'd have left her kiddish ass alone. And Ashley, mind your business. If you know, you know. And if you haven't read it, you don't know. But if you have read this book, then you know, obviously. So that wraps up my September reading. I read a lot and I had a lot of duds, but I also enjoyed the books that I did enjoy, if that makes sense. If you made it this far in the video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to grow over here. We do like growth. I hope you had an amazing reading month. September wasn't the best, but October is still to come. Let me know what you read for the month of September, and I will see you definitely in the next one. Bye.